I'm Krista, and today I want to check in and most importantly, see how you're doing, see how you're holding up with everything that's going on in the world with this pandemic, and bring you some tools that have helped me during this time that I think will benefit you as well, and that I hope make this time a bit easier for you and to move through it with a bit more positivity, and also using it as an opportunity to learn more about how you personally can grow, because we do have a lot of time to be reflecting right now and going a little bit more inwards as the world is kind of put on this pause than we normally do. So to start, I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about the struggles that I've been experiencing and, how I'm kind of reacting to everything going on. And this is something that I haven't talked about in a while because it is such a vulnerable topic. And I think as being a life coach, sometimes I come into this space where I'm supposed to look like I always have it all together. And when I started my business, or I set out on this journey of this calling of a purpose, my main calling was really that I wanted to share authentically, the journey that I was experiencing in my life and how I was growing and how I was changing and the struggles that I was experiencing, because that's reality, that's life. We all go through different forms of anxiety or stress or struggles or challenges and obstacles. And I think the most important thing is when we can kind of come together and just understand and relate to one another so that we can all begin to grow and share tools of, how we can move through and rise into the best versions of ourselves. So for me, yesterday, the past few weeks, I really have been taking a big pause. For the first about 2 to 3 weeks, I really felt this sense where I couldn't be on social media. I couldn't be involved or creating or doing things. I really had to just take this time to have a big pause and let go of any pressures, financial pressures, creating pressures, time pressures, anything I felt like I should be doing. So I had to let go of any form of a pressure and almost lose sense of time, and just completely, I would go on 2-hour walks or spend the day cooking, and reconnecting with enjoying life. I felt that was really important to almost go through a bit of this detox period. And as I was going through that, I had a lot of time. I really started to dedicate about an hour to 2 hours some days to meditation. And a lot of things started coming up for me, because when you really set aside time to focus on your meditation or reflection, or you just have extra time on your hands to, maybe you're home alone right now, or just have more hours than you normally would because you're not working or commuting, or your schedule's changed in a lot of ways. And so it gives us this more time to be able to pay attention to the thoughts and the things that are going on in our subconscious mind and inside of us that maybe we normally wouldn't have had that time to listen to or experience or to learn. And so for me, especially this past week, and this is kind of something I've struggled with for my entire life, and it goes through varying degrees, but I kept hearing these voices of, I'm not enough, you're not good enough, you can't, nobody cares what you have to say, you have no value, I'm worthless. And these are kind of this, the itty bitty committee, or sometimes I call them gremlins, of how negative I can talk to myself sometimes, and where my biggest form of self-doubt really can come in. And as a result, sometimes, I wouldn't want to be sharing things because I'll think they're not good enough. And so yesterday I was doing my meditation, which is why I want to share a really powerful tool with you, because this tool can be used for, maybe you have your own forms of doubts, or feelings of not enough confidence. Maybe you're experiencing fears right now for various reasons. Maybe, your safety, anxiety is going around in the entire collective. So it's not always easy to even realize what is your own feelings and what is, the collective of what's going on right now, or something you read or see. So it's difficult to be able to know even what thoughts are your own, especially if you're an empathic person, meaning that you easily pick up the energy of other people. And so the tool is really good if you're having any fears, if you have different forms of self-doubt or negative talk. It doesn't have to be a confidence thing. It could be, something with your image, or just different ways that you talk to yourself that might not be as kind. And then another thing is leaving an old identity behind. So maybe you have always had a lot of anxiety, or, I've been going through, I always had a lot of problems with money, and I always associated myself as this person who lived in lack and was struggling, and was never capable of making money. Or maybe you found yourself of never feeling smart enough, or pretty enough, or popular enough, or there's a million different things that could be coming into your mind, and these form an identity in our bodies. There's a lot of science behind, how they live inside of our brains, and they transfer into our bodies, and then we really won't even realize it sometimes that all of these thoughts are going on and why they're happening, but they're so programmed into our being that it's really hard to reprogram your mind sometimes, especially if you're not aware of what's going on and the thoughts that are happening. It's really difficult to even realize, because you're so attached to your thoughts that you feel like that's your identity. That's just who you are. And it's not until we really are able to shine an awareness on, the thoughts that are happening, and that they are this way that we've identified with. And then importantly is to know that we can change, and that we can grow and create, a new way of being for ourselves, or a new identity, and leave old ways of being behind. So for me right now, what I'm working on is my confidence and believing in myself, and leaving behind this old identity, or these old fears and negative self-talk of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I have no value, nobody cares what I have to say, nobody understands me. These are thoughts that constantly just kind of run through my brain. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be so anxious, and I will have to meditate, because these thoughts are literally like, I feel like they're eating my body alive from the inside, and it's like, if I don't sit down and meditate, then I'm just going to go nuts. That's why meditation is so powerful, because it really allows you to focus and sink in. Okay, what are the thoughts that are going on in my mind? And are they the thoughts that I want to be living there? Are they the thoughts that I want to be creating my reality? Because we are such incredible and powerful beings, and our thoughts are so incredibly powerful. We really do create our own reality. And this, you can believe in a higher power, you can believe in science. I personally believe in both. But there's so many reasons of why it's so important to focus on your thoughts and how they do create your reality. I always like to think that, we have to be responsible for the lives that we're living today, because they are a result of all of our, our past thoughts that have created who we are today. But the really powerful thing about that is that we get to choose today who we're going to be tomorrow and a year from now. We get to create that life. So that's why it's really important to be aware of your thoughts and to know how to detach from them. So the tool we're going to be working on today is kind of like a 5-year-old drawing in some ways. It's a tool that my coach did with me, and it's a picture of your lower version, so yourself when you're having all of these thoughts that go through your mind. For me, I kind of feel like my eyes get droopy and like my face looks really exhausted and forlorn, and it's this lower vibration that I carry. And then there's this version of you where you're believing in yourself, or, the opposite side, that highest version of you. And I can see, like, we're going to draw a picture. I'll explain more about this, but, for me, it's kind of like I see this life and this energy and just this presence that comes through my entire being. And the thoughts that are associated when I think of myself in this way are so positive, and they really are creating the reality that I want to have in my life. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to be rewiring our brains through drawing these pictures. So go ahead and draw a big circle on your page. You're going to draw one big circle at the top and one big circle at the bottom. So pause this video if you don't have any paper or a pen with you. And then draw one big circle at the top and one big circle at the bottom. And we're going to leave enough space to be able to kind of write or draw around this big circle. And just to get a little bit grounded, go ahead and close your eyes. We're just going to do a short meditation to allow you to arrive. Because if you're not conscious of what these thoughts are, or what's even going on inside, it's hard to grow or to release old ways of being or negative thoughts. So go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seat. And close your eyes. And just allow your tailbone to sink a little bit deeper into your seat, into the earth. We're going to do a meditation I learned recently of the 3 arrivals. And so the first arrival is your breath. Just begin to breathe naturally. Becoming aware of your prana, your breath, your life force. Your breath is pure magic. It has the ability to create more space in your body, allow you to live, to breathe, to smell. Fill up your lungs, your chest, your heart, your belly, all the way to your fingertips and your toes with this life. Just explore what the natural rhythm of your breath is, where it wants to go. Begin to arrive in your body. One of the most potent and powerful practices that we have is the wisdom that lives within your own heart center. Begin to draw your attention deeper and deeper inwards. Feel your heart and imagine your heart as this beautiful portal opening up, sending out this loving and beautiful, warm, light beam of white. Softness. As it opens up and lets you in. Notice any areas of your body that feel tight or tense. Just giving yourself a scan. Anywhere feels stiff or free. And the third arrival is your mind, your emotions, your thoughts. Notice Any thoughts that are running through your mind? Maybe there's an area of your body where you can feel those thoughts living. Our thoughts actually physically live, and our emotions live inside of ourselves. So it's normal sometimes to hear a phrase or a thought pop up that feels like it's coming from your hips or your shoulders. Notice if there's any recurring thoughts. Any fears that are popping up. Begin to invite in all of these thoughts like they were a guest in your home. Without any resistance, allowing them all to be there. When we resist, we're fighting. Fighting the natural flow. Anything going on in your mind, start to think of it as a gift. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow. So often, we need challenges to be able to rise, to learn more about ourselves, and to become the people we desire to be. I want you to begin to think about your mindset now. Are these thoughts that are living there, are they going to create the future you want to experience? Are they creating the life you want to live? Or are they creating a ceiling? Are they holding you back? Are they having limiting beliefs or fears? Are you living through love and truth? Or fear and intenseness and stress and anxiety? A lot of times we hold on to different thoughts out of fear and a need to control. Because it's vulnerable to trust, to expose ourselves, to be in our raw state. To trust that a higher power is here to help us and to work with us. See if you can begin to shift your mindset. So maybe if your thoughts are, I'm scared, I have no value, no one cares what I have to say. How can that turn into, I'm the best at what I do. I am value. I believe and trust so deeply within myself. I have within me so much beauty and wisdom to create an impact and change others' lives. Spend some time, no matter what the thoughts are in your mind. Shift your mindset. Maybe if you're scared and anxious and feeling trapped and alone right now, I am free. The world is safe and we are moving into a beautiful place. Just begin to change your mindset. And you can go ahead and pause this video and stay in this meditation as long as you like. Really observing your thoughts. And we're just going to draw our hands into our heart center. I encourage you to stay in that meditation longer and to really just become aware and draw a smile to your face. And when you're ready, slowly begin to open your eyes. And go ahead and grab your pieces of paper. And if you haven't drawn your circles yet, draw a big circle at the top and a big circle at the bottom, leaving enough space around for you to draw a little picture next to your circle. And so in your top circle, you can call this rewiring your brain, releasing old identities, releasing past stories, letting go of fears and anxieties. So anything that kind of resonates with you. And in that top circle, you're going to begin to write basically that old identity or the fear. So anything that was coming up in your meditation that was a negative thought. So for example, in my circle, I have, I'm not good enough, no one cares what I have to say, no one will understand me, no one will care to watch this, all things like that. So all of those negative thoughts or old identities, old ways of being, the fears, the anxieties, they all go inside of the circle, and it's fine if you can't fit them all in the circle and it starts to go outside of the circle, that's okay too. And then next to it, you're going to draw this lower vibration of yourself. So for example, for me, I drew a face, and my hair, when I have a lower vibration, I feel like I don't look good, and I feel like my hair is all over the place. So I kind of drew this like crazy hair in the photo, and I have a frown on the face, and I always feel like my eyes get really like withered and down, so I look like very tired and exhausted. And it's just this portrayal, this image of this lower vibration of me. It really resembles how I feel on the inside, how all of those thoughts make me feel and what they're doing to me. So go ahead and you'll draw that, and then underneath it, you're going to create the higher vibration of yourself, this higher version of you. So for me, I kind of close my eyes and I think about, when I'm my highest self, when I'm feeling confident and like I'm making an impact, what does that feeling look like? How does that show up on my face? So I usually, I feel like I have this glow and this presence of my being that kind of vibrates from within, like outside of me. And so I have this photo of me, and then inside of the circle, I wrote all of the things of, what is my mindset like in that state? How do I feel? I'm making an impact on the world. I have value. I have purpose, and I'm living out my calling. So on the inside of that circle, you're going to write anything that is the mindset that you want to be creating, the thoughts that are going to be creating the world that you want to be living. And the thoughts that are going on, I believe in me is another one that is really when I'm in that higher state. So anything that you want to be experiencing. So a lot of the ways, one way I like to think of this, because this tool is really for rewiring your brain. And so I just want to give you a little insight into what I kind of picture in my meditation, and almost kind of in these two scenarios. So, and I won't go too much into the science behind this, but what I picture is we have these neural nets, and what I picture is this kind of this one ball, and it has a lot of like web-like things through it. And it consists of all past memories, experiences, negative thoughts. This old way of being lives kind of in this one ball in my brain. This is how I picture it. And so for example, maybe when I was younger in grammar school, someone told me that no one cared. I had said something and someone was like, nobody cares what you think. Or I remember I had a teacher one time that called me stupid, and it's something that like still to this day that will pop up sometimes that I remember. So I kind of picture these old experiences, these memories, and these thoughts kind of live in this. And this is my, no confidence ball. And it's kind of this identity. And so what happens is that when these thoughts pop up, we're so attached to this old identity that we just continuously feed it. And instead of realizing that this is even happening, we go into this anxiety swirl because we don't realize that it is just an old pattern, it's old memories, and the way that we're perceiving and observing the world. And that's a really important and powerful thing to realize, is that no one experiences or observes the world in the same way. We could both be looking at two apples, and you could think that it looks green and I could think it looks red. It's just the way that we feel on the inside is a lot of times the way that we experience and observe what's around us. And our past experiences, our memories, really play into how we view the world today. And then as a result, we start to create more and more of that. And so when you're rewiring your brain, it's really important to bring awareness to what are these old memories, these old thoughts. And you'll realize that, it's like, are these thoughts even true? I have no value. Of course that's not true. And it's something that, if I'm not conscious and aware of it, I could constantly be feeding because I'm not even aware that it's happening. I'm so attached to what has been programmed in my mind that I can't even create something new because I'm too attached to it. And so then in order to rewire your brain, I kind of picture this second ball, this second neural net of what it is that I do want to create in my life, the mindset I want to be living. Because remember, our thoughts are so incredibly powerful, and we take that responsibility that the life we're living today is the life that we've created through our thoughts. So if I want to create a certain future for myself, or I want to experience the world in a certain way, I need to make sure that my mindset is in alignment with that, because that is imperative. It's crucial that our mindset is in alignment with the way we want to experience the world. So by meditating and bringing awareness to these thoughts, by drawing this circle and really writing down, okay, I have all these thoughts that are going through my mind of I'm not worthy, and they're popping up very often, right? Now I'm aware, and I have this awareness so I can be like, okay, that's an old identity. That's a way of being. I don't want to attach to that. What's the mindset I want to create? What's this new rewiring? And so when that happens, it's important that we change our attitude, change our mindset. So this is an opportunity for us to basically take this old way of being and to bring awareness to it, and now to create something new. And the more and more that we practice this, because this takes a lot of practice, the more and more we'll begin to rewire a new way of being, and it'll become stronger and stronger, and eventually this will become where our minds gravitate towards naturally, as opposed to this old identity. And so one really important thing to keep in mind, and this is another tool that I use, is that every time these thoughts pop up, because I said this takes a lot of practice. So you might be having a great day, and then 3 days from now find yourself, falling into these old patterns. And that's okay. This is going to happen. So since this is such a strong wiring for however many years, it's normal that it's going to keep popping up. And the way I like to think of this is kind of like a detox. So it's almost like when you get a facial, all the toxins rise to the surface. So that's how I kind of like to look at it, as my body is going through this detox. So these old memories, these old thought patterns, they're all popping up because they want to be released now. So they're rising to the surface. So instead of attaching to them and falling back into that pattern thinking, oh, this is just who I am, like the work I did didn't work and I'm still this person, right? Instead, it's kind of being like, almost like looking and laughing and be like, I see you. This is an old pattern. This is, an old piece of that's ready to fall off now. It's ready to leave, and for me to rewire it into this new mindset. So if you do find yourself falling back into these old patterns or feeling, certain ways, look at that as an opportunity to say, okay, you know what? I'm so excited. Now this is a piece that's falling away. This isn't me anymore, as opposed to, oh my gosh, it's happening again. So let's start. So once you draw your two pictures, there's one more thing that I wanted to kind of explain when you're thinking about this. And that is, going back to the way that we observe the world and the way that our minds work. So I kind of like to think of it as there is this one way where, you know, we're living out of fear and there's all these ceilings and limiting beliefs, and the way that we picture the world is everything is going, you know, completely wrong and nothing's working for us, and it's just kind of this negative way of thinking. And a lot of times that's your lower vibration. That's when you're living in that lower vibration. But when you live in this higher vibration, if you choose to live in this other world, which is full of excitement and fun, and it's coming from a place of love and trust, where all of your goals and your dreams are coming true, you're safe, you're happy, and you're living life. There are no ceilings in this world. There are no limiting beliefs. Anything is possible. So those visions, those dreams that come into your head, they're possible. They're happening. And the thing is, we have a choice. When we're consciously aware that we can either live in this world or this world, and that what we choose creates our reality and our future, we have a choice of what we want to create. And so another thing that I like to do is sometimes in my meditation, I'll just kind of close my eyes and I'll picture, right? So if I'm living in all these old thoughts, I'll picture, you know, how does that feel in my body, and allow that to be there. But then I'll be like, okay, now let me meditate and live for a few minutes in this world where everything happens, everything goes right. There are no ceilings on what I can achieve or create or what is possible. And I start to meditate and live in that world, and then remind myself, you know, this is the mindset I want to be living in, this is what I want to create. And then I start to shift my being and my attitude into living in that space, as opposed to, you know, this other one, and allowing those thoughts to fall away. So your mindset is everything. It's so incredibly, incredibly important. And one final thing I wanted to touch on before we finish this is this idea of it's okay to be positive right now. I found myself, as I was doing a lot of this work and, you know, really moving into more of a positive mindset and taking that break and allowing myself to play and to have fun, that I found myself really feeling guilty, because there is so much going on in the world, and my heart is really aching for, you know, all of the struggles, people that are in financial trouble, everyone that's, you know, sick, and people that I know, and just so much sadness going on in the world, and the anxiety that is on a collective so high right now. It's such testing times, and it breaks my heart. And what I realized is that I started to feel guilty when I was moving into a more positive state. And the truth is that when we have resistance and we feel like we kind of are just moving down and down into these fears, and almost like we're not allowed to be happy or to be positive right now, the truth is that, you know, what I started to realize for myself is when I'm in that anxious state, when I'm feeling down, I can't serve, I can't help anyone else, because I'm too much in my own head. I'm not in a space where I can fully give. And so when I really take the time to do the work on my internal world and to clear out the negativity and all the fears and any anxiety, and allow myself to be positive and to be happy, that's when I can really fully show up and serve and help what's going on in the world. And so if you find yourself, you know, going, and, you know, the waves are going to happen. There's so much going on in the world right now. It's normal to go through waves. It's normal to go through all these feelings. So don't get down on yourself if you are feeling anxious or down or fearful. But just remember that it's okay to be happy too, because you really can be, you know, part of the solution. You really can help and serve. And, you know, you might not know that when you're in a happier or calm state, some of the inspiration that might come to you that you can in turn share with someone else and help them get through this time. So any way that you can shift your mindset to allowing yourself to be a little bit more in the present moment, to see a little bit more positivity and light, just remember that could help you to be, you know, adding to the solution that we're all working so, you know, beautifully on, and trying to make a difference in everything that's happening. And And so I just want to send my love to you. I'm here. I'm thinking of you. If you do need anything, if you're struggling, please do reach out. Do not hesitate, because I do want to help you during this time, because I know it is completely unprecedented and it can be very scary. But together we definitely can get through this. We are incredibly strong, and I know that there will be light on the other side and at the end of this tunnel. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you want to share, what it is that is going on in your mind, any of your anxieties, fears, or old identities that you might maybe have a question about and want a little bit more guidance, just leave a comment below or reach out to me. I'm happy to give any feedback I can in order to help you with this process. I love you. Please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to this page below so I can continue to give you all this, these free coaching tools and things that have helped me in my life, and continue to share this with you. And have a beautiful, beautiful day. I love you, and I will see you on next week's video.